Lots of green, lots of yellow. God, this is gonna look so cool. What's up? Oh yeah. Is it a bee? Oh, it's a fly. Or a moth. It actually might be a bee.
If it comes down here, I'ma be gone. What is it? It is.
I can't.
Kill it.
Can't tell.
Carrying a backpack. Look, he's staring at it so long. Oh, Jesus Christ, it's huge.
Oh, he finally landed upside down and now he's stuck up in there.
You know it's a gangsta bug if it's dead fly upside down.
He's stuck up in the light somewhere. Oh goodness, are we live already? Just sitting here watching a moth or a bee or something fly around the studio. There we go, guys. Okay. We gotta have our India yellow up here, of course. Welcome in, everybody. By the way, this is the splash page, they call it, in the biz. That'll be cool. So, I've got a very, very, very large canvas, a 24 by 36 Pro Series canvas, and that means we've got to put a lot of undercolor on this guy. Oh, that's going to be neat. That is going to be neat. That is going to be neat. London, should you grab a mic and put it on? No, thank you for today. Okay. Let's grab this guy. Huh? No, okay. I'm going to put a little bit of my yellow in there. Yeah, we're going to be looking good, guys. I don't want to do too much when you guys aren't watching, though. So, ready to hit the intro. Look at this guy coming in the door. Oh, we got to put sound on it. Your new song on there. Kind of cool. Look at this guy sitting down, turning the lights on and stuff. What am I getting there? Oh, some paint. Get some more paint here. No, it wasn't there. Let's open up this drawer. No, oh, what's in this drawer? Ah, like I don't know where my paint is. Please. I know exactly where everything is in that thing. Shut the old curtains, which are always shut. Put the paintings on the wall. A little display action. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Here we go. So, we are on a big black 24 by 36 inch canvas. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome, welcome all, or one and all, anyway. So, you guys got to check in. Let me know where you're watching from out there. I am going to start throwing on more and more paint onto this big old canvas, okay? So you can see I put a big old patch of my India yellow up here, a patch right where I want the eye to be, nice and vibrant in my India yellow again. And then a little bit more of that guy, sort of down underneath here. Just sort of underneath our eye, becoming more and more and more low on the left side. Excuse me, right side, and higher up on the left side. We're definitely pineapples for this show, you guys. Woo! Now remember, we need to put on a little bit more than we think we need, because we're not just going to be using yellow, we're going to be adding our sap green as well. So, maybe a little touch of our phthalo green even, you never know, right? But I need the yellow on the canvas and allow it to stretch out, because having the yellow intermix with the green is going to make it more vibrant, you know what I mean? So if we let our yellow extend outwards and then we take our green and kind of shrink it in and blend them together, we'll get these really cool gradient things happening. Thank you for the stars over there on the bookie books. Right? A little bit of our yellow, toss it out anywhere, right? It's all over the canvas in different places. Then we're going to go right on top of that color, right onto our green. You guys are going to check in. Let me know where you're watching from out there in the night. Going to be fantastic on this one. Right? If you want vibrant color, you need a lot of your undercolor on here. Oh, I miss doing these. I forget how much I like doing these green yellow scenes. Oof, it's going to be fantastic. Right? The green and the yellow are complementary colors, they say, right? So they will help each other. They'll blend more nicely. They'll kind of flow more nicely together because they're complementary versus, like, let's say green and crimson. Those don't like each other, right? They are on the opposite sides of town. They do not like to mix together, right? Versus green and yellow love to mix together. It's fantastic when these guys get together, right? So let's get a little bit more of that green underneath the eye and above the foam. So we have a difference in color up here. We're gonna do just a cool, cool scene, you guys. I'm gonna throw some Oregon coasty trees and rocks and all this stuff back behind our big old crashing wave. Gonna absolutely be stellar. Now, I don't need these things to not touch. We can allow them to blend a little bit, but we just want to have that yellow patch bright enough. So don't make it too green so you can't see the yellow anymore, right? Then we'll take that green and blend it into our little sandy patch down here. Bing, bang, boom, right? We actually don't even need the Viridian green, honestly. You could put it in there if you wanted to, but I'm not gonna. We're gonna go back into our India yellow. Pop this guy down here, just a little further, and a little further. And the more that it grows down, the darker it's getting because we're dropping off all this paint and it's sticking to our canvas, falling off our brush. Right? So if I were to continue to do this over and over and over again, eventually down here, there's nothing left to fall off, right? Now, we can either do this as a 3-color painting, green, yellow, and white, or a 4-color painting. No, you know what? We're going to add our plaque and all that stuff too. So let's get into our raw umber or your Van Dyke brown color. Pull it from the very bottom first, and then allow it to mix up towards the green, right? Spreading it as far as you can. You don't need this color to be very thick. Right? You want it, in fact, to be thinner. So I know this is the 3rd time I'm asking, and I didn't look the first 2 times, but check in right now. Let me know where you're watching from. In the night, and I swearsies, I'm gonna look up and we're gonna see and give out some shout outs where people are watching from. So lots of brown down here, mixing it up so it's more fine and more light as it gets up to where our water is going to be. Central Florida, California, Missouri. We've got Dallas, Texas, Oklahoma, Kentucky, Oklahoma again, Pennsylvania, Belgium, Wisconsin. Where's that? Indiana over there, Pennsylvania, Kansas, Indianapolis, North Carolina, Williamsburg, Virginia, Alabama, Florida, Kansas again, Oceanside, California, Long Island, Nebraska, Arkansas. Oh, we got North Carolina, Ohio, Ontario, Canada over here, Minneapolis, Massachusetts, California over there, Colorado, Quebec, Malaysia, literally, New Orleans, Michigan. What does that say? Wollongong, Australia, New York, and Saskatoon. Saskatoon? Am I saying that right? There's no possible way I'm saying that right. Saskatoon. Okay. Thank you guys all for checking in. You're amazing. All right, now we're going to actually paint a painting we can actually see. Are you guys ready to paint something we can actually see? Because I am. It's going to be really cool. So remember, you can grab this painting by going to the PaintWithJosh app or paintwithjosh.com. It's right there on the front. The only painting that doesn't have a photo, that's this painting, because we're about to paint it right now. So it's got a little thumbnail. And all you got to do is go over and check it out. It's number 2352, I believe, right? Is that correct, Linda? 23, okay, cool. Sure. Now that we've got our undercolors down, we're going to start adding a small amount of white at a time. If we start adding too much white, it's going to get way too bright and way too pale, okay? So we're going to come out here, little touch of white, little bit. When I say a little, get half of whatever you think I mean, and then wipe off that excess, a trick I learned over from Danny from Happily Painted. All right, we'll pop in just a weird little, oh my word, look at that. Whoa, look at this for a little golden color. I love that India yellow so much, right? We're going to come in here, we're going to mix it up in a counterclockwise circles, mini circles, but in a larger clockwise circle, right? Just to really mess with your brain. It's actually not as hard as it seems. But the more that we, oh wow, the more we mix it up like that, the more we allow that color to go out into the darker colors. Holy moly, you guys. This one's looking cool. The more it's going to extend and spread out. And then we get to determine how big it gets, right? How much do we want it to grow? How far do we allow this color to continue to mix out, right? That's up to us. Now we'll go back with a little filbert brush, which I was just using earlier, with Meryl in our class. If you haven't seen, thank you for the stars over on Facebook. Appreciate you. If you haven't seen the painting from earlier in class today with Meryl and I, it was so much fun. And it came out fantastic. I posted the results over on my Facebook, so if you follow me over there, you'll be able to see it. Woo, look at this for a little tiny little circle. Pop it around. I'm telling you, 99% of people can do it with that little small little filbert brush. The bigger the filbert brush, the bigger your moon shall be. Now we're going to come out here with a little bit more paint on the brush, right? And like I said, get about half of whatever you think I mean, okay? Now I know that I want to have some trees poking up into the night over here, right? So I can decide, you know what, let's pop one going off this way. Just a weird little, throw it out there, and it's instantly going to start mixing with whatever color is underneath it. So in this case, it's kind of grabbing some of the yellow, and then as we get out further away, it'll start grabbing more of the green. Oh man, I love these color combos when we do these. What is your favorite color combo, guys, when I'm doing these black canvas paintings? Do you like the blue and white? Do you like the green and yellow? Do you like the pinky purple or the bluey purple? What's your favorite color when I'm doing these scenes? Oh, look at how it looks like it mixing out into a tunnel of clouds. Yeah. So what do we got over here? We got yellow ones. Is this wet on wet? Yes, it is. We took our clear base coat, then put our green and yellow undercolors, and now we're activating them with our white paint. We got the blues and the purples from Trishchina Shorshina. We got blue and purple. Purple ones, love the purple. What about the pinky purple, like the brighter purple, right? Because we do the dark bluey purple, and then we do like a pinky purple too. So, which one's one of your favorites? Thank you guys over there on YouTube for saying hi. And let me show you what we did in class earlier today. This one is available. It is 2351 is the number, right? Gorgeous little bluey scene. Just blue and white and brown. That was it. Tiniest amount of colors, very few tools in order to paint that one, right? So if you like that guy, you can check out number 2351. And that's the number of the painting, not the price. The number. So this one's 2352. Did that one right before we did this one. Imagine that, right? We'll come in here, grab a little bit more white, and again, grab less than you think you need. Okay, because you can see how far it grows. And if I know my eye of my wave is here, and the way, my wave's gonna be crashing here, I don't wanna have too much color there. So let's pop it in there, be weird, cut through, doesn't really have to touch, but cut through it, right? Get some color back here for our trees to project and bounce off of, right? If we don't have enough color back here, any amount of dark trees or anything that we put out there won't contrast, right? Because there's no color in the sky. And if you put something black on something that looks like a black surface, you're not really going to see it, right? Mix these guys down. The more I mix it, the more it's going to grow and the more it's going to get dark, right? So I'm determining how much it stays bright by mixing it, right? So if I'm mixing it, pulling it darker and mixing more and more and more, it's going to mix away, right? And it will be this darkness back here. Right? And again, with the amount of pressure that we're pulling, right, we can take all that paint and pull it all the way down here if we wanted to. Literally, I could take this and make it work all the way down to the bottom of the canvas just by the amount of pressure that we're pulling on it, right? So the 3 P's of Paint with Josh are always vital. Yeah, guys, this one's coming out so great. Okay, let's throw in our wave. Actually, you know what? Let's take a quick commercial break, and then we'll be right back in a few seconds, maybe 30 to 60 seconds. Check out this commercial. Let me know what you guys think of it. And until then, I don't know how to end these anymore. What's wrong, dude? I'm trying to book my Paint with Josh class. Oh, that's simple. He's got an app. What do you mean he has an app? You didn't know? Everybody has an app, you dummy. It's gonna be way better. Where's my phone? Dude, are you for real? Everything's on an app now. Show me how this works. Show me now. Show me now. I'll show you how it works. Let me get my phone. Hang on. Dude, booking the classes is easy. I use my Paint with Josh app to get notified when the show goes live. And then if I wanted to purchase the paintings doing live on the show, I'm going to tap the menu button, click buy the live painting, and boom, it will appear. All I have to do is add it to my cart, and here we go. Dude, this is like way easier, and I love that it notifies me before the show starts, because half the time TikTok doesn't even do that. It tells me after he's already finished. Bro, same, I feel that. I always get the notification at like 6:20, and he's already done by then. Yeah, no, thanks, dude. I'm gonna book my acrylic class right now. Thanks, dude. I'm gonna. Thanks, bruh. I'm gonna go book my acrylic class right now. So, guys, we do also do acrylic classes as well as the commercial was talking about. So, if you're kind of struggling with your acrylic landscapes, maybe some trees and such, you want to practice, then let me know and we'll do some acrylic classes, guys. Seriously, they're available on the app and the site over there. So, as we come in and add just a couple little bits of highlights onto our clouds, we don't want to overmix them, right? If we overmix them, you should take a picture of what I have to do in order to be above the glare. I've got to get up on my tippy toes. Someone grab me a step stool so I'll be able to see what I'm actually painting because the glare is so bad. What's up? Yeah, isn't it? Like no one sees that I actually just grew like 4 inches so I could see the top. Guys, I'm telling you, I should take the camera one day. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take a picture and I'll post it to all my stories of what I have to see, right, when we're doing a painting show. And so you can see that I can't really see, right? I mean, just to show you, just in the live show, that's what I see. How am I supposed to see any clouds or anything when it's all white glare on the wet camera? I just want you guys to know how hard my job is, okay? Just... it's ridiculous that I have to do it blindly and that it still comes out looking like they do, which is incredible. And I blow my own mind that way. All right, I'm gonna need my step stool again because I got to get up here and make this guy a little brighter, a little crazier, a little more highlight. Right now, what is a highlight though? It's not the entire color changing to something brighter. It's just one little place of the cloud being a bit brighter than the rest of the places. If you make it all bright, now you have to go and make another bright spot to make that spot high lit, right? And then eventually you've put on so many bright areas that it just doesn't work anymore and your clouds are too bright, right? I'm sure that's happened to you. So once we get in here and we know that we've got our clouds that our trees are going to go projecting up into, I'm going to throw in my I'm going to go throw in the old wave over here first, all right? We're going to throw it in. I don't know. I think like the more live shows that I do, the more that I speak, the less actual words come out of my mouth, right? So we're going to take a very, very, very small amount of paint onto our blade, and we need to get up above that eye, right? So we're going to roll up here above the eye, but it doesn't have to be so crazy, right? You don't need to go terribly sharp on the downward flow, okay? So it's basically just like a wavelength, right? That one's going to go off. This one may end up going up higher over and over again, right? Oh my word, that is going to be the most gorgeous thing you've ever seen. I'm going to take a little touch of my white paint and get up here, very small amount, right? Just jiggling it around. Now here, I'm not trying to blend the paint. I'm just trying to put it on there, right? Just tap it in, okay? Then I'm going to blend it with a softer brush. If I'm trying to blend it with that fan brush, I'm just going to continue to drop off more paint. But if I come up here with my big old 2-inch or your 1-inch or whatever, doesn't matter the size of the brush. It's all which one you're most comfortable with. If you're most comfortable with the smaller 1-inch, then do it with that one. Honestly, it doesn't matter. Right? Bring this guy down a little bit, down into the barrel, but not making it as bright. See that? Now it's fading into a darker color. That is fantastic. That is what we want to see. You know, fade out onto this side too. Boom, right? And then I can go back and decide, you know what? Maybe I've mixed it so many times now that it's just not as bright as I want it to be anymore. So I'm going to come up here with a little touch of white, literally just popping it in, bouncing against the canvas. Then I've got to come up here and mix it away without letting it grow too much, without letting it look all the same, right? So we'll kind of mix it down, mix it down, mix it down, right? Just to get a little bit of difference in there. If I continue to mix and mix and mix and mix, it's all going to look exactly alike. And we don't want that to happen. Oh, that's very cool. Right now, again, every once in a while, you got to go back and back and back until you reach your desired effect of, or your desired bright level. And that's all depending on the person, right? Do I want it to be brighter? Absolutely, I do. I want to come in here and make that spot a little bit brighter. Absolutely. We can do it, right? So the more you do, and the more times you do it, the more confidence you're going to have doing it as well. There. Guys, that's gorgeous right there. Looks like a golden eye of Sauron. Okay, let's place our wave and our horizon, and then we'll know where we can come back with our trees and forest and stuff, right? So I'm going to pull down the titanium white. I'm going to scrape up a very small little line of it again, just like we're doing our tree bark, okay? This is what we're doing. We're coming up here, just off the top as it's starting to flow down this way. You pick your spot and you touch the canvas and you pull away. Touch it and you pull away. Touch and pull away, right? All we're doing is creating the rolling bit of water that is going to be crashing down from this wave, right? We're not going to do it right now, but we're going to set up the paint so we can do it later, right? So we're flowing along our line. You can see it's a little bit brighter, a little bit heavier, more paint on the canvas now than its initial very thin line, which was over here, right? The same, you see how the difference is changing there. Now we're gonna go back and take one very small little bit of paint as well, okay? We need to set up a horizon somewhere, right? So off this little guy, go down, we're gonna flatten off, right? That's the horizon in the background, or what's crashing against our rocks or whatever, right? So same thing if we make an invisible line through the eye and then pick it up here, zip, and just drop on a little bit, right there. Right, now we've got our horizon behind our crashing wave. So all we need to do is scrape a couple things down to where our little lip is and then let it get darker as it goes away to the side, and literally having no paint on the right hand side. If anything, one or two little swipers just to have just exactly like that. So the moonlight is hitting and then it's getting darker as it goes away. All right, we're gonna do the same thing over here. And you can see these, the line is straight here and it's straight here, but it starts to creep up, right? The water is making it do that. You don't just need a straight line into the thing and then nothing else. We're going to scrape down a little bit of brightness, leaving dark areas, not putting on too much paint, right? Because I can go back and highlight areas. If I go put on too much paint right now, right, it's going to be bad. I want to put right underneath my moon and stuff, I can tap in little bits of brightness and allow them to get brighter as they start, you know, creeping up towards my wave. And again, totally up to me, every time we do it, what it's going to look like, right? If I want to scrape it, if I want to make it all super bright, I can. If it happens that way, then that's okay. You know what I mean? It's not going to change the way of, or the look of the whole painting. This is a background detail. No one's really paying attention to what's happening back there, right? Now, we need to come in before we do the rest of this stuff, and we need to make our plaque mix for our background trees and stuff and all sorts of details, right? So we'll take our black, our crimson, our blue. You guys are going to check in right now. Let me know where you're watching from. And we're going to take a little bit of that raw umber or our Van Dyke brown as well. We'll make our PaintWithJosh brack mix. Fold them all down until they're one deep dark color. Scoop them up and then check in. Let me know where you're watching from out there. Yes! The nutcase. You know, me and that Josh laugh the same. We do that, that look. It's the same laugh, dude. I'm telling you. I'm telling you, you guys. Woo! God, that looks so gorgeous already, you guys. We got Alabama, Kuwait, Virginia, West Virginia, Texas again. Texas is a large place. Indiana. We got, hi, I'm new. Welcome. Thank you for being here. We got Seattle, Washington, Charlotte. Oh, Oklahoma, Ohio, Texas, San Diego, Hope Mills, North Carolina, Fort Worth, Texas over there, Canton, Ohio. I think it's drop dead gorgeous. Thank you. So do I. And it's only about to get better. So Alaska, Illinois, Florida, Africa. We got Indiana, Georgia, Shippensburg, Pennsylvania, Victoria, Texas, Milwaukee. From Toledo, holy Toledo. We got people from Toledo watching, you guys. So, man, we have too much fun over here. Okay, let's take our plaque mix. Let's grab our PaintWithJosh brush, our fan brush. I was speaking to the manufacturer today. They're going to be moving forward on the brushes, and we're going to be going into production very soon. We're going to be coming down here, right, creating this dark, shadowy thing that's coming right down, almost on top of our horizon. You can leave a little bit of gap there because you really can't see it anyway. They're both dark enough. And we'll take our big old 2-inch brush. There, slide it back and away from the water, right? We still haven't even touched any of the color down there, but now we have this mound of darkness in the background, right? We're going to start to notice that mound, and you might not even see it initially when you look at this painting until you start seeing that these trees are popping up into the night, right? And as they get up there into that cloud, right? Because you're going to be looking, first you're going to look up here and you're going to, oh, that's gorgeous. And you're like, ooh, what's the, oh, that's a forest. Oh, it's leading down to a rock. Oh, into the waves and the water and everything else. Right? So I said initially, we have to have enough of that color in the background in order for these trees to stand out. Imagine trying to put this dark color over that dark canvas. You can't see anything. You wouldn't be able to see anything. I could literally put a tree right there. No one would ever see it because it's so dark, right? That's why we have to have the brightness to our trees. And if you have the Paint with Josh fan brushes, right, you're going to make the sharpest trees known to mankind. Now, they're not out yet, and if you want to cheat and kind of practice a little bit, then you can get an acrylic fan brush or an acrylic brush, right? But make sure it's like the thickest acrylic brush you can get. Right? So they have the synthetic bristles, but they're kind of stiff in the bristles, right? And that is going to be the most similar thing to the Paint with Josh fan brush. Golly, this one's looking great, right? We're going to come in here, we're going to swipe up, basically flattening the paint down, and then as you get to the top, you're kind of pulling away so you're not taking it all up into the clouds, right? And instantly those clouds just get pushed further back into the distance because those trees are now cutting down into it, right? We can highlight those guys just a touch, right? Just a littlest bit, I'm telling you. Little touch of white on these guys, right? It's going to turn into a kind of a lighter gray color. And then, seriously, if you put on too many little bits, you're going to know that it's too much back there, right? A couple little bits of brightness just on the sides of a couple of our trees, right? And when we come back in with the same white paint, seriously, you can even use the same brush, and come back in here and mix up all that nasty kind of crashing misty foam that lives back there, and you're really going to start noticing those trees, right? So it's all about the light and dark transitions, what I'm always talking about, where you got light, dark, light, dark, light, dark, light, dark separator, light, dark separator. Then we'll have that light crashing with another dark separator, then our splashing brightness with another dark separator. I mean, by the time we get done with this thing, you guys should actually take a guess right now. How many layers, how many dark separations are we going to have by the time that we finish this painting? Because I'm thinking it might be like 17. And that's a large number, okay? Now, in order to further see our rocky details back there, we're going to come in with the smallest amount of our white, a much more amount of our darker brown, because you can see just how bright the smallest amount of our white wants to make that color, right? Now we're going to scoop up a little bit of that, just like we did right here. We're going to come back and we're going to tap in little ribbons back there. And then we'll go back and we'll tap on top of that. And tap on top. And just kind of flattening it, making it, you know, more distant if we have too much or too many details back there. Just literally tapping, 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 tapping. Leaving some spaces in between. Already looks like rocks. You can't tell me it doesn't, because I'm looking at it too. The higher I come up here, just again, back into that mist, it's going to be harder to see things, which is exactly what happens when we're out there in the night. Right? So, you guys are literally an excellent crowd today. I'm loving you. Now, we're going to take a quick, oh, you know what? I need one more little spot out there on the front. So I'm going to use the front of my, or the small edge of my blade, and just try not to cover every piece of everything, right? Now, as well, just because it may be a little dark, and we do have that Indian yellow on the palette. Ooh, that might be too bright, dude. Mix a little bit of that guy with my darker brown, and if we can get, there we go, just a couple little bits of highlight. Ooh, see what I'm talking about? Now, that was a little bit of my Indian yellow, and then white, right, to brighten it up. And then I was like, ooh, that's too bright. So then I mixed it in with that darker brown color that we had to create this sort of highlight. Now remember, I don't want to see every single piece be all the same amount of brightness. So you're going to kind of tap it and then make spaces and gaps. And holy cow, if that one isn't amazing. I thought that was you guys just grabbing the painting right now, but no, still remains unpurchased. So let's go take a quick little commercial break, and I'm going to wet my whistle, and then we'll be right back to show you how to finish the rest of this painting. So hang out, and why am I just... Holy cow, did you see with all of our new setup and all of our new equipment that we can actually see I'm talking about all of your comments. So not a single comment will get missed, nothing gets lost. I can see them on the television. And London right back here is checking everything out on the computer. So comment, comment, comment. It helps much more than you might think and helps boost engagement and gets us out to more people. So let's get back to the show and see what we got going on up there. Yeah, we'll see what we got going on up there. So, I'm noticing that my bright area back here is kind of shifted a little bit because of how I stand over on the side. So I'm just going to make that spot a little bit brighter. So it looks like my moonlight is casting down on top of the water right there. Right? And if I'm going to do that, I got to extend the side a little bit out there. It's always bigger, further away, and then gets to a point, which I was incorrect about when I was painting waves for a long time, or moonlit, reflection for a long time. I was doing it backwards. So always room to improve. Somebody said on my Facebook today, they're like, oh, you're a pro. Okay, I agree. And she's like, dude, you can't get any better than this Seascape. And I was like, well, this is a gorgeous one, but there is always room to improve, even when you reach my level, right? How did I start creating these? How did I improve? Like all of a sudden, you make a little jump, and then you're like, ooh. Then every painting becomes better after that. And then you make another little jump, and then you make another little jump. And every time you're doing one, you're like, you know what? That came out really cool. I'm gonna remember to do that next time. And then you improve, you know what I mean? So let's get in here. I've wiped off my blade, okay? I want to just touch the back half of the blade, or even the top half, the small edge, right? We can use the small edge up here, and we can start to cast it down and cast it down. And if I'm just using the paint that's already up there on that little ribbon, right, then it's going to be a very small amount of paint. And maybe I have to go back and add more to that section, right? Because we never know until we start doing it. Look at that though, right? So again, if I want it to be bigger, I'm going to come in and tap on the top line where I want my wave to be. You just saw it get brighter, okay? Then we'll come back here, touch onto that after we wipe off our blade, touch onto it, and then let it crash. Let it roll down, right? We're just touching onto that little ribbon of paint. We're changing the angle of our blade, right? So the blade starts up here with the handle over to the right. And then by the time we're over here, the handle is basically straight up and down as we're casting over to the side. We're making the same movement, the same motion, right? We're just changing the direction of that motion. I'm going to make that bright spot right in there. Right? Remember, they're all pulling, they're all falling at a different rate of speed. Everything's happening differently out there. Oh, look at that for a bright spot. Okay, now we've got to come in with our liquid white. I'm going to dab into the liquid white. My brush, we're going to come over here and get some of that big chunky pile, right? You got to mix them up to where they're about a 50-50 mix. If we have too much liquid white, then it's just going to blend away too fast and be too bright, right? Have you ever had that happen where all of a sudden you mix it and it starts just really extending? We kind of want it to be like our clouds, where it takes a few little swipes to get it to move, but also wet enough to kind of look like our water. Now, I don't do it up here like we used to. We start waiting until almost about right in the middle of the wave, right? Little things into bigger things, and then you got to cut in front of that wave, right? So we've got a smaller dark separator in here, leading to nearly nothing as it cuts in front of the wave, right? Then we're going to turn our brush, because it depends on, look at that. Like it's the same thing, but I'm turning the way that it's hitting, right? It's hitting over here, it's going to make that shape. It's hitting over this way, then it's going to make that shape, right? You're deciding what it's going to look like every time. Don't put too much paint up there though, seriously. That might be too much already, just from showing you guys what it's supposed to look like, right? So, once we come in here, okay, we're going to very, very lightly, with like 3 little swipes on our brush, seriously, because if it grows too much, or if you stay in one spot for too long, then you'll never have these bright to dark areas, right? You need those. It needs to get darker towards the bottom, right? You're catching all the light, all the spray, and then it's getting darker. You see it going from white down to yellow, down to green. That's where you need it to be, right? We don't want it to grow too much. You can get above the edge. You can get out here. You can let it extend even further, right? All up to you, seriously. How do you want yours to look today? Because that's how we're going to paint this one today. Now look, all these different spaces, bright into dark, we got bright, we got dark, all these things are happening differently, right? Everything's happening. Why does this look like a you see what it looks like, London? To me, this little with a, kind of looks like a kiwi, right? That's kind of cool. Let me get in there and splash. Just a couple more little bits. Bang. I couldn't like pick out the word. Like, this looks like that fruit with like it's like green flesh and it's got like a darker center bit. What was that? There. Oh, it's fantastic. Seriously. And again, I don't want to have too much dark separator in between where the water is crashing and rolling, right? So I'm going to put a little bit more in there. Ooh, again, we don't want to put too much. There. It's fantastic, you guys. Seriously. Now, we're going to take that same liquidy white, titanium white mix, our 50-50 mix over here, right? Scoop up all that usable paint. Oh, it's lovely. Makes it very, very spreadable when you put that liquid white in there. All right, now we're going to take a straight line, put it all the way through our wave. Bang, it's telling us that right here is where we should start, right? Now, we don't have to stay right back against the wave like that. Eventually, we're going to be way down here by the time that we get going, right? And all we have to do is just fill it in kind of sporadically, right? The more sporadic that it is, the more it's going to look real, right? Because it's not all just bright color out there. You got all these little differences. And look at that little shadowy area in between this brightness and that brightness. You got to have a little touch of shadow, you guys, a little bit. God, that looks so cool. Let's continue on, right? Rolling down and getting lower and lower. And it doesn't even have to be like a straight diagonal line, okay? It doesn't have to do anything. Maybe we come out over here and then we flatten it off and then we can dip down, or we dip down again and flatten it, dip down and flatten it again, right? All these little things will make little ripples in the front. And all we're doing is plopping on enough paint that we're able to drag it backwards, right? So most times, like I said, we usually go along the front edge. So you'd need about, a good amount, 2-3 inches worth of mess right in front or right off the back of your little edge in order for it to look correct. And you can see how we're literally pulling straight over to 3 o'clock. I'm not trying to angle any of these things up yet. You cannot do that too soon. I mean, you can, and it looks bad. Okay, so don't angle them up too soon. Stay very flat. Flat, 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 flat. Remember, once you have enough paint back here, that liquidy white, titanium white mix, then I would suggest using a fan brush, and again, straight over to 3 o'clock, okay? Look at the golden color, you guys. I would suggest using a fan brush if you're new at it, right? If you're not new at it, and you're like, you know what, I can rock with that palette tool, then let's do it with the palette tool. But if you're with the fan brush, okay, you're gonna very lightly just be pulling over to 3 o'clock, and all we're doing is taking a step up this little line, right? So we step up and pull it over. Step up, pull it over till you get about halfway underneath your eye, right? Then you're allowed to start pitching. And the more that you pitch, right, the more you come back this way, the more you're pitching and rolling and turning almost upside down by the time you're in there, right? So you're deciding how you want it to be, which brush you want to use, this, that, the other. I'm going to flatten these guys just a little bit. There we go. Just to take that texture away just enough. There, right? Then we get to decide how, see how if you just use a little bit of paint, you can almost erase it and allow it to mix in with those darker colors back there. So in case I didn't like that pitch, I only used the smallest amount and then I was able to erase it, right? Now this is a big old wave. So we're gonna switch from that liquidy white pile, the liquid white titanium white pile, into just more pure titanium white, right? So we'll fold it down, it's a little bit heavier. And all I wanna do is come out here and start kind of letting it fall off the blade, right? Creating little bits that are floating on top of my water. And all I'm doing is flowing along those same angles that we were doing before, right? Going over to the side before I start to roll upwards, right? So you guys are gonna have to start coming up with a title for this painting, okay? See how we're like literally, we're rolling from here and then just barely pitching up. And then we're gonna back up. So we'll roll from here and then we'll pitch up a little bit sooner. We'll back up and go from here a little bit sooner, right? And the more sooner that we're pitching, the more of a rotation we're gonna have, right? So we can decide, so by the time we're getting in here, you're getting way up there. Oh God, that's it. That is the curvature, but look at where it starts. If I put a straight line on it and I go shoo, right down to there. So I had to move all the way up here underneath the crashing wave before I'm able to get just halfway in the middle of my eye. Right? So that means if I need to get closer, I need to move up again to this side. Come in and then really rip it. You know what I mean? Leave like a ping pong ball size gap in there, you guys. I'm telling you, you need it. If you don't have it, it just doesn't look correct. Oh, isn't that so cool? Now remember, we are painting the stuff that's floating atop the water, not the water itself, right? We've already painted the water. Why am I saying the water? Why am I putting so much emphasis on the T? We are not painting the water, because the water is already there. What's up? Right, and then as we get more and more and more to the side of the wave, look at how the angles change. Right? Looks so cool, even with that just little amount of highlight on it, right? Again, come back in. I'm going to start to fill in these little gaps, scraping it in. And if you're doing it with your fan brush, it's going to happen very fast. And it's going to be very smooth, very soft, like silk, right? If you're using your palette tool, it's going to be much more chunky, and it's going to take more time to do it. Remember, we're not trying to dump off everything that's on the blade on the first go. I'm trying to see how long I can stretch that amount of paint, how many little stripes I can make, how much room, right? If we go the other direction, ooh, you got to touch lightly, I'm telling you. But if you do drop off something that's too big, make it bigger. Allow it to flow into something else. You know what I mean? It's all a bunch of patches of stuff out there, guys. It's not a string. It's not like a root. I used to paint them like tree roots or lightning bolts, where it'd be like all wiggly and crazy and then roll, and it looked ridiculous, right? Especially after I figured out what the ocean and the foam actually does out there from going and looking at it. You know what I mean? So make it a weird patch, allow it to roll up and roll back and turn it, right? I'm allowing it to flow out the front of the blade, rolling it back, and then turning that sucker. You gotta turn it. And remember, don't hit anything back there with like a finger that's hanging over or something. That's gonna be bad. Now remember, some of these little guys can turn past midnight. Oh, like that. And it just shows it rolling up and about to roll over. My word. You guys, remember, you gotta allow that thing to flow up that way, right? And if you put a spot that's a bit bright, you got to put something else brighter underneath it, or wipe off our blade and let's try to extend that, but down or out to the side, right? You don't have to just be a straight thing. It can be a patch of stuff. You guys, it's really cool. Really cool out here, right? And we're just going to start fading out, and you can see, can you guys see the directional changes? Like, honestly, can you see it, or am I just crazy? And I just think that everyone else can see something that I can see. And do you guys notice that it is very much like a fist, a wide open fist out here that closes into a closed fist by the time we get in there? Can you guys see that? Anyone? Just anyone in the world? Am I the only person on Earth? Hand hearts, thank you. Appreciate you. I think that's a Rick and Morty bit. He's like, am I the only real person on Earth? Seriously. Can you guys see what I am seeing? Or am I the crazy one? Yeah. Boom. Oh my word. Look at that, right? Now, because I use the fan brush to flatten that stuff out, now I can come in and add little streaks of white in order to make it those little highlight details. God, that's so cool. Yes, you can see? Okay, for sure. For sure we can all see, guys. Thank you. Now, remember, this one is available on the PaintWithJosh app. We've got more than 739, right? Something like that. 59, 30, I can't remember what it was. Lots and lots of downloads on the PaintWithJosh app. So, if you haven't gotten it yet, get your tush in gear. Man, what are you doing? God, that's cool. You can go grab this painting or go to paintwithjosh.com. It's right there on the front. On the frontals. Very, very small, very light color. Holy shaving cream, you guys. That came out amazing. Now, these areas that are a little bit darker, those are up to you whether to cover or not, right? I'm going to try to cover over some of them. I'm going to try to leave some of them, maybe shrink some of them, right? So if you ever have one that's a little bit too big, and you just put a little bit of extra paint in that spot, right? Kind of cut it right in half like that. Take that one piece. Now it's a cool little, small little patch versus a giant old thing that I was having to deal with before, right? So again, totally up to us how much we put on there, how much we do, right? Very cool. Yeah, that one looks really neat. Supremely neat. Oh, man. I love putting, especially under the moon, in the foam. You're going to put a little bit more, especially out there on the edge, right? You got to have a little bit of darker area behind there. So out on the front, I'll pop in a little bit heavier white, and it'll look like it's catching that moonlight. Very cool. Now remember, it has to get into a darker greenish color back here like it has done. So we've got that gold into the green, into the gold eye, right? Now remember, I told you earlier before, first to start coming up with a title for this painting, and then second, an over-under on how many dark separators we're going to have in this painting. I don't even know why I'm doing that because we don't have to do it yet. We're going to have to redo it anyway. So let's take that liquid white and titanium white mix, come down underneath, and just start dropping in a little bit, like 1 inch, little 1 inch squares, right? Drop them down like that. And I'm going to do this across this big giant canvas. London's going to do a quick commercial break. And then by the time you guys come back, I should be finished doing all these little things. So we'll just do a little quickie. There we go. Who's this guy? Tells me to get out of here while he's watching his commercials. Yeah. Excuse me. There we go. So we're going to finish putting on our little 1 inch squares of our liquid white, titanium white mix underneath our watery thing, right? We don't need them to be too big. And even on a big old 3 foot tall canvas, we still don't need to have too much paint right here. Because if we do put too much, it's going to really grow too far, right? Kind of right under the moon. Maybe I'll put a little bit bigger of an area. Is that under the moon, by the way? It's hard to tell when you're standing off to the side. Yeah, gorgeous. Okay, now I'm going to come back in with my big old 2 inch brush. We're going to dab it on our paper towel, making sure it's pretty clean. We're going to come back in here, grab it, right? Pull it down. We don't need it to go forever, right? So about, I don't know, what's that, like about 4 inches worth of pull from our little 1 inch square. And because the paint is very wet, right, it's going to grow, and we're going to get less and less and less and less, down to about 2 inches up there, right? Oh, wow. So as I tend to do this, I'm going to ask you just real quickly, does this look like wet, sandy beach? Just yes or no in the comments below. Tell us now. Don't grab your wave like I did. Do as I do, not as I say, not as I do, whatever it is. But tell me what you think this looks like. If it doesn't look like wet, sandy beach, let me know what you think. Pause for comments. Okay. Pause for laughter. Then we're going to take all of your comments. I've been saying ice wall, waterfall, cliff, edge of the earth, all of that. But what if I took all these verticalities and we turned them into horizontalities by pulling on them with enough force to take away those vertical things, right? Turning it more into sandy beach than anything you've ever seen in your life. So tell me now, does this look more like that wet, sandy, beachy area that we all know and love right there in front of our little crashing wave? Lower and lower and lower. Wow. Oh, my word. I'm going to take this little bit. Again, we're just pushing it harder and harder, dropping off the last little bits of that light color, picking up some of our brown, bringing it back up here, getting less and less and less. It's basically a big triangle of brown sand at the bottom of our scene, right? So the more brightness that we would have pulled down there, the more you're going to lose that dark brown that's down here, right? So our wet sandy area does not have to look exactly like the line above. Definitely does not have to do that, right? The more we mix that brown, the more it's going to push that light color back, right? So we get to decide what it's going to look like. That is a gorgeous bit of sand, you guys. I'm telling you. Oh. Now, let's just say, Josh, mine didn't get bright enough. What do I do? Maybe I want it to be a little bit brighter underneath my moon. So I'll just pop in a little bit of bright. Holy shaving. I'm going to go over that so softly because that is perfect. I am not going to touch that guy anymore. Oh, it's amazing. Okay. Now, we come back in with that liquid white and titanium white mix that we were using before. Right? So the same 50-50 mix. You guys start coming up with a title for this painting, right? What do you think it should be called? I'm thinking GoldenEye. But you tell me what we should call this painting, right? Let us know in the comments. We're going to take that very wet, very slippery, slidey paint, right? We'll bring it down, trying to catch some of that brightness from our sand. Right there. Save it. Trap it all behind. And if you use a small enough amount of paint, you can wipe it off and then change your directional line. Pop it up a little bit higher. Pop it over here a little bit more. Now let's say, oh no, we put on too much. What am I going to do? I'm going to try to scrape it, spreading it out, right? Over here, over there. And they don't all have to be the same amount. That's the whole best part about it, right? We'll wipe off our brush. So it's barely got any paint on it. I'm going to start to slide back. And in that area, maybe I'll push it a little bit harder. Right? Blend it a little bit more so it flows back to the edge. Maybe it's a real bright spot that's being caught by the light. Right? Pulling these guys straight over to 3 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 3 o'clock. Don't try to turn it on me. Don't try to go vertical towards our wave. It doesn't work. I'm telling you, don't do it. Okay? What we do need to do is get one more little bit of our liquid white. I'm going to take it from here and pull it up. There. There. Now, can't just do it with our fan brush because it's not soft enough to blend it. But that, there we go. Swipe those guys. That's cool enough, right? Over here, I'm going to do this one more time. Take it from the top, swipe it down. Top, swipe it down. There. That's what I want to see. Just a little bit of brightness back in there and not allow it to get too bright, too far, and all the rest. That's the whole stink of it all, is letting everything get too bright, right? Now, your edge or your bright area over here doesn't all have to be the same, right? You can have area or little bits that are kind of flowing off further. It can be bright spots. It can be dark spots. It's all up to us. What does your fish pish look like? Because mine looks like that. Oh, that's cool. That is cool, dudes. I might have to do the reflection one more time just because there's a dark space in here. But, oh, right there. Don't pull it too far. Don't pull it too far, Josh. Here we go, buddy. Dudes. You guys. So, start coming up with a title. Let me know what you think. Bristle right in the way right there. Gorgeous, guys, I'm telling you. Right? What do you think we should call this one? Type it out in the comments below. Right there. Oh, that's cool. Okay. Now, I'm going to come across this guy, swiping it to make it softer. And then we need to go and shrink our dark separation, right? That little gap that's up there. It's a little bit too large for me. So I'm going to take my liquid white, titanium white. I'm going to bring it down, bring it down, bring it down. A little bit smaller on our left side and a little larger by the time we get down to our right side. But we're just scraping it, vibrating the blade so that it stays very close together, right? We do not need and you do not want to lose that dark separation across your entire wave, right? Some areas we've already lost it. And in that spot, I need to make sure it's supremely bright white over the top of that connection space so that it stands out. Versus on this guy, we don't have to be so white for it to stand out over that dark area. You guys see what I'm talking about? Right? All about the lights and dark. So what was your guess on the amount of dark separators in this painting? Because we're nearly there. Like, we're done with the separations, right? So we can count them up. And before you start cheating and count them, right? Type in your number. Wait, I can look through the hole. Hang on. So, type in your number. How's this look, Glenn? Is this good? Type in your number. Did I get paint on the back of my shirt? I so did. Right on the P. Look at that. Excellent. Right? Can you wipe that off? So, how many dark separators do you guys think? Can you get the paint off my shirt? I cannot reach that area. It should be like right on the P, it looked like. Yeah, bumped right into it. There we go. So, let's count up the dark separators and see, thank you, how many there were, right? So, I mean, there is one there. So you can go 1, 2, 3, 4, then bright, then 5, then bright, then 6 in there, then bright, then 7, then bright, then 8, then bright, then 9, then bright, and 10. So how many of you guys had 10? Anyone out there have 10? Anyone in the night? I was thinking it'd been way more than that. But I mean, sure, if you count all these little things in between, you could really climb up on the numbers, but we don't want to get that crazy, man. In the night. Anyone out there have 10? You fibbers. Now you're just typing in 10 because you know that's the correct answer, right? Who actually had 10 to start? That's what I want to hear from. Gorgeous. Okay, so let's sprinkle in our last little touch. You guys think of a name for this painting, and if you purchase it, you get to get a free gift coming back to you on the spinny winnie wheel. You get to activate the light party for everyone, so they're going to love you because everyone loves the light party. Especially, look at, imagine what this green one's going to look like under the green light if we get to do the RGB party. That's going to be cool. The reason I chose this color combo today is because I've got a reel going pretty good over on Facebook, and it's me kind of sprinkling on the watery, splashy bits of our wave, and it's a green kind of Oregon coasty scene. And I was like, you know what? It's been months since I've done that painting. Let me do that one, and we'll incorporate the new big wave with the eye above the background. God, isn't that cool looking? Dude, I like it. I might take this and just very lightly extend just the lightest bit of that color just there, just so it's not pure black. There, perfect. Very small amount. Probably have to wash my brush off again. So what are you coming up with for a title on this one? I'm going to get a little touch of my liquid white. We're going to dab it onto the brush and then onto the palette tool, okay? And then get up back here very lightly initially because it's going to start throwing off an enormous amount of spray, especially if you've got a lot of paint up there, right? So we'll throw off a couple little things, get back in here, get a little bit more paint. And now that we're down into the bottom section, we can start launching off a few more things and just really go up and crazy. Oh, that's neat. Dude, look at the mist. Like all that crazy spray coming off of it. There's a little bit in here, little touch, a little bit coming out of the barrel. Just a couple little things. That's depth right there too, right? All these little bits of water are coming off. We've got that distance in between, that dark area. We're going to throw some into our backwash, especially over here. It will be reflecting these little things. And you can throw them literally anywhere. They look like bubbles as they're going over here. Back up and launch them into our enormous sandy pile. I love how much land is at the bottom of this guy. All right, I'm going to flick them until it starts looking like sand to you guys. Right? It's literally up to you what yours look like. Right? And if you're flicking correctly, it should be all over your hand, your watch, your arm, and everywhere else. Table, floor, everywhere. Dude, that one is so cool. Oh, I love it. Happy little crabs. Got moonlight mist. Gives me Irish colors. Crashing into Erin. I like that. Thanks, London. That would have been like Iron. There we go. Dudes, that's a cool one. Okay, let's throw in the old signature, and we'll have the painting finished in under an hour, my friends. Now, it's up to you guys to go grab this one if you like it. Head over there, check it out, and I'll send it to you by the time she's all dry. A little bit over here and go. Oh, we got to do the countdown, of course, right? Here's the countdown, everybody. When I count down from 3 to 1, we're all going to go caw as I draw these birds in, right? So we're going to go 3, 2, 1, caw. You just got to get them crazy out there. Oh, I like it. Flying over the night, in the night. Yeah. So, boom. It's sharp enough. Bang. Gorgeous. I love those things. So much depth when you throw those birds in there. Seriously. So, let me know what you guys think. What are we thinking of for a title, you guys? No one told me my sleeve fell down either. How dare you guys? You know what? Let's pop the old JK way down here on this guy. It's very small in comparison to the size of the canvas. Now, let's come up with a title. Right? Remember, if you purchase it during the live show, you get to pick the title forever. But if not, then we got to come up with a title together. Right? So what are we going to call this guy? He's GoreJosh. Let's call him GoreJosh coastal crashers or something. That's why I need your guys' help. I cannot anymore. I've named way too many paintings by now. So let me know what you guys think. See, Ocean Spray, I like that one. Golden Hour, or Golden Eye. I love Golden Eye. Golden Eye. I like that. That'd be my number one go-to. If someone was like, all right, I'm going to buy the painting, but I want Josh to name it, I would name it Golden Eye. Because that's what I see right there. This one would look so cool under a light party too, you guys. But we can't do a light party until somebody grabs this one. There. Ooh, that's a lot of paint. Nastiness. So this is my Friday, of course. We stream from Thursday through Monday. So this is the last day of the theoretical week for Paint with Josh. So if you want to grab the last painting of the week, you got to grab this guy right here. I honestly can't wait to see your guys' versions of this one too. Ooh. It's going to be really cool if no one gets it as well, because then I could just go take it home and keep it at home. That would be neat for me. I'm going to throw in a couple little stars in the sky too. Just way up here, a couple little sprinklers, a little sprinkly bit over there, over there, over there. There, a couple little things, you guys. The glare is so heavy. Bink, bink, right there. Ooh. See, just adds about 10 million miles. It's 90 trillion miles of depth into our scene right there. Okay, so you guys come up with a title. Let me know by typing it in the comments. We shall see what is going down. Yes! Oh, we got multiple people over there checking it out. 2 active cards. There's a race going on to see who's going to grab this one, you guys. You never can tell. So I'm going to back out just so we can hear the shping when it comes in. If it comes in, anyway. Let's pick a title. Golden Sea Bass. Orange Crush. Golden Seas is cool. I see you. That's a cool title, too. Glow of Gold. Golden Eye, Emerald Sky. That's cool. I like that one for a title as well. Stable Waves, Ocean Spray, Hazel Tides, Orange Crush. Jade Waves, it's cool. Twilight Golden Eye. Irish Night Waves. Your energy reminds me of BobRoss. He was my grandpa's cousin. I appreciate that. Eternal Ocean, great title. Twilight is cool. Midnight Summer or Midnight Wonders. I like it. Let's see, Life's a Beach. That one's cool too. Viridian Waves, Peachy Paradise. I kind of like Emerald Sea Bass, but if it's up to me, I'm going to go with Golden Eye. You know what I mean? Like, that is just too good for this big old greeny, yellowy, golden painting. Oh, it's fabulous. Fantastic. Oh. Midnight Gold Mystic. I like that one too. Emerald Escape. I like all of them, or any of them. The Gold Darkness. Gold in the Darkness. Ooh. See, now we're getting crazy. Now we're getting wild, you guys. Yeah! So, let's see. I'm going to double check that this one still belongs to me and no one has yet purchased it. And then we're going to call it GoldenEye, because I like that. That's a cool title. That is a cool title, guys. So let me... I need a step stool in order to get up on top of this guy and reach up here. Like, not really, but almost. Like, almost legit need a step stool to get up on that one. So, I'm going to spin this guy around. We're going to sign it. We're going to call it GoldenEye. Oof, this is one of those, again, big, giant gallery canvases. Very sturdy, very well made, very tightly wound or tightly wrapped. There we go. Nice. It's like painting on a drum. Come over here. Launch in the old JK. What number is this one again? I forget. 252. Okay. 2352 over there. And we're going to call it GoldenEye. Oh, that's cool. GoldenEye. Painted on 3/23 of 2026. All going to go check out PaintWithJosh.com or the PaintWithJosh app, available on the Google Play and the Apple App Stores for free. You can head over there, check it out. It's amazing. Yes. And then, look, dude, I got 5 people over there now. There's a race. You never know. Maybe they're just looking. You never can tell. So, we don't want to take up all of your Monday evening. So, we are named and signed and chitled. I honestly can't wait to get a step stool so I can actually get up this high. There we go. No, I honestly can't wait to see your guys' versions of this big old crashing wave with the golden and green and the brown and the trees with the crashing with the sand, everything. It's literally fantastic. This one would be excellent under a light party. And don't you just love the green accented wall behind there too? I didn't want to normally we never use the green because it's too faint, but it's accessing this one or accenting this one very nicely. Aaliyah says, Josh, come back. I'm still here. I haven't left. I'm here. Just standing out of frame, like over here, right? Like you still see my arm over here. I don't have many more ideas for this week, you guys. Seriously, I guess if this one were to sell and find a new home, then perhaps I could find one more idea to come back and do tonight. But if not, I'm literally on Monday nights, you guys, I get tapped for ideas. Like, what should I even paint? I don't know. And then everything starts, you know what I mean? You don't have like the will to want to do it. You know what I mean? When you don't have the will, then there's no way. But we also have this little guy. I did earlier in class today. He's a bluey, white, and brown version, right? Look at that. Do they line up? Oh, that guy's much bigger. This green one's much bigger than the blue one is. But look at that though, right? This one is 159 and it's number 2351. So it's literally one painting before this painting. Absolutely fantastic. Did that in a class with Meryl earlier today. And she did a really cool, really good job. So if you want to see what hers look like, then you got to go over to my Facebook page and check out the post that I made right before we started this video. Right, and that'll show you what we did in class earlier today. And beyond that, you guys are amazing. Let's see, I'm hearing we need a painting ideas in the Discord server. Let's see. Boom, agreed. Josh with ideas after the show. Or not. You know, I mean, it's like, you know, my Friday. Like I, you know, could just go enjoy the night. But I don't know. I you know, maybe we'll come back and do something small. I just don't have any real ideas. Like I don't want to, I mean, of course, I would love to do another one of these waves, but you guys don't want to see another one of these waves. So don't want to do any more waterfalls. I'm like tapped out on waterfalls right now. So I don't know. I'd have to come up with something. And anytime I don't know what to paint, then I always go with the Seascape because I know we can do it so many different ways. You know what I mean? But yeah, we've got lots and lots and lots of paintings and not too many ideas. I would like some reference photos. So if you guys want to put reference photos in the Discord, there's a room literally called ideas and feedback or something like that, and you can drop them in there. It'd be really cool. Yeah, space painting, a spring painting. Let's see, cabin with a muddy puddle, like Peppa on vacation. You guys are fabulous. All right. Let's see. Bingo. But now there's 10 people over there, you guys. 10 people from across the U.S. and looks like the Netherlands? No, Germany maybe? Maybe Belgium? Somebody over there checking it out. It's cool that it drops a little pin wherever you guys are. Tells me across this world map where you guys are. So, everything you paint is amazing. Thank you. I very much appreciate that. Let's see. We all want you to come back for a second show. I know. You know, you kind of got to, isn't like the point of it like to leave them wanting more, right? Like, no, maybe not. Northern Lights, yeah, I guess. I do also have lots of other smaller paintings available on the PaintWithJosh website, you guys. You guys can go over there and check it out for sure. But yeah, we'll have to see. I don't know. I don't have much for ideas, honestly. So I wouldn't count on it, but you will know if your tattoo is just, yeah, it's pretty much healed. They've got a little scabby area down here, but that's pretty much it. We got to go back over it with more darkness and make it more like detailed in the muscle fibers and stuff, which is just going to be so painful. But yeah, if you have the Paint with Josh app, which is free on the Google and Apple app stores, you'll know if we did come back because we put out a notification in the Paint with Josh app. So make sure your notifications are turned on. That'll tell you right when we start the show so you can come back and check it out, right? And if not, then I'll be back on Thursday at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 8 p.m. on the East Coast, coming up with all sorts of ideas for next week. So beyond that, I do have a class tomorrow. What's that, at 10? I think it's at 10. I have to check the calendar. And then, yeah, I'll be doing a lot of idea searching for next week, right? So let's see. Yeah, beyond that, you guys have been fantastic. I can't wait to come back. If we do later, then you'll see if you have the Paint with Josh app. And if not, then you'll see us back on Thursday. And until I see you guys again next time, take care. I'm tired. And what do I normally say? Well, that one came out amazing. I want to thank you guys for being here, liking, subscribing, tapping the screen, commenting, and interacting with me. It's all been fantastic. In the meantime, before we get to our next painting, be sure you check out paintwithjosh.com because there's always something else to look at over there. So until I see you guys again next time, take care.